then there, middle of the throng, motionless, staring into space, mouth half open as usual, till it was back in her hand, the bag back in her hand, then pay and go, not so much as a goodbye. How she survived! And now this stream, not catching the half of it, not the quarter, no idea what she was saying. Imagine, no idea what she was saying, till she began trying to delude herself. It's not hers at all, not her voice at all, and no doubt would have tried till she was on the point after long efforts, when suddenly she felt gradually, she felt her lips moving, imagine her lips moving, as of course
putting them into the blender, I noticed the red on my hand. I thought it would make
one summer,
a practical joke. I ran outside saying, Dad, look. I cut myself.
This one time I was 8 years old and it was really hot. My dad went outside to wash the car as I went inside.
Yelled at me.
As I went to the freezer to grab the frozen strawberries, I was about to put them in the blender when I noticed that one of my hands all red and it almost looked like blood. So I thought it'd be a hilarious practical joke as I went running outside, calling to my dad, saying, Dad, look! I cut myself, I'm bleeding! And I thought he would start laughing just as soon as I did, but he just got really mad and really red in the face and started yelling at me how I was not ever allowed to use the blender
when I was about
again.
11 or 12, my parents got divorced, and my mom was having a secret affair with her therapist, and we used to have to go to her therapist's house and hang out with her sons, who were a couple of years older than me, and we weren't allowed to be in the living room where my mom and her therapist were, so we had to be in the basement, and we watched TV, and they had
begging,
anyone that
pause a moment, only for a moment, and no response as if it hadn't heard or couldn't. But it paused a second, like maddened, all that together, straining to hear, piece it together in the brain, raving away on its own, trying to make sense of it, or make it stop, or in the past, dragging up the past, flashes from all over, walks mostly, walking all her days, day after day, a few steps, then stop, stare into space, then on, a few more, stop and stare again, so on, drifting around, day after day, or that time she cried, the one time she could remember since she was a baby. Must have cried as a baby, perhaps not essential to life. Just the birth cry to get her going, breathing, then no more, till this, old hag already, sitting, staring at her hand. Where was it? Crooker's Acres, one evening on the way home, a little mound in Crooker's Acres, dusk, sitting, staring at her hand, there in her lap, palm upward, suddenly saw it wet. The palm, tears presumably, hers presumably, no one else for miles, no sound, just the tears, sat and watched them dry, all over in a second, or grabbing at the straw, the brain flickering away on its own, quick, grab on, nothing there, on to the next, that is the voice, worse, has little sense, all that together can't, what? The buzzing, yes, all the time the buzzing, dull roar like falls, and the beam flickering on and off, starting to move around like moonbeam, but not, all part of the same, keep an eye on that too, corner of the eye, all that together, can't go on, God is love, she'll be purged, back in the field, morning sun, April, sink face down in the grass, nothing but the larks, so on, grabbing at the straw, straining to hear the odd word, making sense of it, whole body like gone, just the mouth like maddened and can't stop, no stopping it, something she had to, what? Who? No, she! Something she had to, what? The buzzing, yes, all the time the buzzing, dull roar in the skull, and the beam ferreting around, painless, so far, so far, then thinking, long after, sudden flash, perhaps something she had to tell, could that be it? Something she had to tell, tiny little thing before its time, God knows no love, spared that, speechless all her days, practically speechless, how she survived. That time in court? What had she to say for herself? Guilty or not guilty? Stand up, woman! Speak up, woman! Stood there, staring into space, mouth half open as usual, waiting to be led away. Flattered the hand on her arm. Now this, something she had to tell. Could that be it? Something that would tell how it was, how she, had been? Yes, something that would tell how it had been, how she had lived on and on, guilty or not, on and on, to be 60. Something she, 70? Good God, on and on to be 70, something she didn't know herself, wouldn't know if she had heard, then forgiven, God is love, tender mercies. Now, every morning, back in the field, April morning, facing the grass, nothing but the larks, pick it up there, get on with it from there, another few, what? Not that, nothing to do with that, nothing she could tell. All right, nothing she could tell, try something else, think of something else, oh, long after, sudden flash, not that either, all right, something else again, so on, hit on it in the end, think everything, keep on long enough, then forgiven, back in the, what? Not that either. Nothing to do with that either. Nothing she could think. All right. Nothing she could tell. Nothing she could think. Nothing she... What? Who? No, she. Tiny little thing, out before its time, godforsaken hole, no love spared that, speechless, all her days practically speechless, even to herself, never out loud, but not completely. Sometimes, sudden urge, once or twice a year, always in winter for some strange reason, the long evenings, hours of darkness, sudden urge to tell, then rush out, stop the first she saw, nearest lavatory, start pouring out, steady stream, mad stuff, half the vowels wrong, no one could follow, till she saw the stare she was getting, then die of shame, crawl back in, once or twice a year, always winter for some strange reason. Long hours of darkness, now this, quicker and quicker the words, the brain flickering away like mad. Quick, grab on! Nothing there, on somewhere else, try somewhere else. All the time, something begging, something in her begging, and all to stop unanswered, prayer unanswered or unheard, too faint, so on, keep on trying, not knowing what she was trying, what to try, whole body like gone, just the mouth like maddened, so on, keep, what? The buzzing? Yes, all the time the buzzing, dull roar like falls in the skull and the beam poking around, painless, so far, so far, all that keep on, not knowing what she was, what? Who? No! She! What she was trying, what to try, no matter, keep on, hit on it in the end, then back, God is love, tender mercies now every morning, back in the fields, April morning, face in the grass, nothing but the larks, pick it up there, out into this world, tiny little thing, before its time, in a God for, what? Girl, yes, tiny little girl, into this, out into this, before her time, God-forsaken hole called, no matter, parents unknown, unheard of, he having vanished, thin air, no sooner buttoned up his breeches, she similarly, 8 months later, almost to the tick, so no love spared that, no love such as normally vented on the speechless infant in the home, no, nor indeed, for that matter, any of any kind, no love of any kind at any subsequent stage, so typical affair, nothing of any note, till coming up to 60, when, what? 70, good God! Coming up to 70, wandering in a field, looking aimlessly for cowslips to make a ball, a few steps, then stop, stare into space, then on, a few more, stop, and stare again, so on, drifting around, when suddenly, gradually, all went out, all that early April morning light, and she found herself in the, what? Who? No! She found herself in the dark, and if not exactly insentient, for she could still hear the buzzing, so-called, in the ears, and a ray of light came and went, such as the moon might cast, drifting in and out of a cloud, but so dull, feeling so dull, she did not know what position she was in. Imagine what position she was in, whether standing or sitting, praying, what? Kneeling, yes, whether standing or sitting or kneeling, praying, what? Lying, yes, whether standing or sitting or kneeling, lying, praying still and away, for her girls. After a sudden flash, brought up as she had been to believe, never wakes in a murder God. First thought was,
Cul-de-sac.
Outline.
Blood. Divorce. Looks like. Cross-eyed. Favorite. Parents. Cross-eyed. Let's go.
Divorce.
First occurred to her, then dismissed as foolish, was perhaps not so foolish after all, so on, all that vain reasonings, till another thought, oh, long after, sudden flash, very foolish really, but what? The buzzing? Yes, all the time the buzzing, so called in the ears, though of course actually not in the ears at all, in the skull, dull roar in the skull, and all the time this ray beam like a moonbeam.
We met when you came Yeah.